Hey everyone, welcome back to the videos. This here is Aces Fool with your host, Craig Guy Sr. This video is being sponsored by Butler's Fitness Evolution. Check us out at butlersfitness.com. If you got any physical fitness needs, CPR certification, or any kind of tactical training or anything you're looking for, butlersfitness.com. I'm going to also, this is Memorial Day weekend, so I hope everybody's enjoying that Memorial Day weekend. Probably not a whole lot to do with the current restrictions and things still on us from the coronavirus, but I hope you're making the best of it. And, remember all those people that have paid the ultimate price in serving this country. Okay? And that's what this weekend's about, really, at the end of the day. All right, today's video is going to be on utilizing self-discipline to help/break bad habits. I had a viewer that said, hey, look, he saw the self-discipline video I posted a few weeks ago and said, hey, I've got discipline in most aspects of my life, but I can't quit smoking. Why is that? I get up for work on time. I do the things I need to do to take care of my family, but I'm struggling when it comes to quit smoking. And most people do. That's the reality of it. And there's a number of things I'm going to point out why, right? Self-discipline itself is the ability to control one's feelings and overcome weaknesses. Well, that's a huge one. Nicotine is very addictive, right? Some experts even compare nicotine to heroin addiction. If you don't believe that, just look it up. Right? That's what's nice about today's technology, that everything's at our fingertips. So that makes it very difficult, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the effects that the nicotine is having and some of the ways you can slowly get away from that. What makes me an expert in this field? Nothing makes me an expert in this field. But what I can share with you is two people very close and near and dear to me in my heart. My mother and father were both heavy smokers. One I have a success story about, the other not so much. Okay, my mother started having major heart issues and all, a lot of it stemming from smoking from teenage years into her 30s and into her early 40s, which ultimately was her demise, and she died of a massive heart attack. A lot of that stemmed from her smoking. She was told after having open heart surgery to stop smoking, and she did not, right? She chose that she was going to continue with a habit she simply couldn't break. My father, on the other hand, started having major heart issues into his 60s. He was probably 63 to 65 years of age when he was about to have open heart surgery, and the doctor said, you need to stop smoking. If you want to live any longer, you need to stop smoking. And he went cold turkey. He never smoked again. Did not smoke again the rest of his life. He lived to be 81 years old. This started at 63 to 65, so he got another 15 to 16 years of life, which he spent with us, his kids, his grandkids, his great-grandkid. So he was around longer for the simple fact that he listened and adhered to what the doctor's recommendation was. It added longevity to his life, right? And this individual stated that I have self-discipline, and I've already stated before, get up, go to work, and those things. Why does that happen? Because we've been taught to do that, right? You know that there's immediate consequence if you don't get to work on time, if you're continually late, if you don't finish the job in a timely manner, if you don't pay your mortgage, if you don't pay your rent, all of those things, or you don't put groceries on the table, you know that there's an immediate consequence for that action. So we implore and apply self-discipline in those aspects because we know we have to. With a habit such as smoking or other things, this may not just be geared towards smoking. A lot of you all have been at stay at home, working at home, and your sleep habits are out of whack. Your eating habits are out of whack. You're not on any fixed regimen right now because you're like, Well, what do I need to get up for? I'm going to work from home. What do I need to go to bed for? I'm working from home. What do I need to shower for at the moment? Nobody's going to see me because I'm working from home. So you're creating habits. All right. It takes approximately about 2 months or so to create a negative habit or a habit in general. But we're dealing with bad habits right now. We're talking about bad habits. It takes approximately 60 to 66 days to start a permanent habit, a change of life, right? And smoking is certainly a change of life. And for most people, when I address this issue with them, they've probably been smoking very long term, far more than 2 months, probably years. So we're combating an issue of a habit that was developed for the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, depending on how old you are, right? And then, of course, now vaping is the new craze that they've convinced everyone that, hey, vaping is safer than smoking. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical expert. I've done no definitive research on it, but I would say anything you ingest into the body, inhaling, exhaling, is probably not very good for you. That's common sense. All right. But again, I'm not here to judge anyone that smokes or whatever. I'm here to give advice. Okay. Someone asked for my help and I'm going to reach out and see if I can make that happen. All right. The good news is that we just talked about it takes about 2 months to start a habit. The good news is it takes about 21 days with consistent repetition to break that habit. Now, right now, of course, we're talking about nicotine, which is very strong because of the euphoria and the oral fixation that people get from the cigarette, from the hand to the mouth, the inhale, the exhale, the relaxation of the feeling, and it releases the dopamine in the brain, which I've talked about in other videos, and that's the neutrons that carry happy feelings to the rest of the body. So when you look at a smoker on a smoke break on the job, you say, wow, that person looks pretty relaxed. Well, they probably do. Because the nicotine, the inhale, the exhale, the movement, and all the repetition of what they've done numerous times over creates that relaxed euphoria, right? So in doing all of this and identifying why we're smokers, okay, it's usually something you started out of, a friend or somebody said, hey, this looks cool. Maybe your parents were smokers, somebody in the family was a smoker. Something triggered that, right? And now you've created a habit. That's very difficult to break. Probably one of the toughest things to do. So it's a huge challenge, but it's not impossible. Because like I said, my dad at 60 some years old went cold turkey, right? And it was the fear factor of being told that he was going to die, put an end to the smoking. And I've already established that he gave him some longevity of life. So that's what we're after here, is the prosper of longevity of life and a healthy life, as long as we can stay healthy, right? Sure, we're all going to die of something. There's no doubt about that. That's the argument people come back and say, well, Craig, okay, that's a fact. I cannot dispute that. I think what's going on in the world right now and everything, we know death is among us, right? I have the Grim Reaper tattooed on my back because I know he's always there, right? But at the same time, you want to look at what quality of life do you want to have? Do you have children? Are you smoking around your kids? All those things. Secondhand smoke can be just as detrimental as the person smoking, right? So we want to look at all the factors here and see if we can't minimize this habit, right? It has a physical and psychological effect on you, right? Again, when the tobacco industry, way back when, they make billions and billions of dollars from the folks buying the tobacco products. They know it's addictive. No one's done anything about trying to slow it down, but there is a Surgeon General's warning that is required by law on the side of the pack that pretty much tells you that, hey, you probably shouldn't do this, right? You probably shouldn't smoke. This could cause all kinds of diseases and things like that. Now, statistically, I looked up and said, well, how many people get lung cancer as smokers? Believe it or not, the number was fairly low, lower than I thought it was going to be. It's about 15% of smokers actually get lung cancer, right? About 1.2 million people die a year of lung cancer. So you're thinking, well, wow, statistically, my chances of that happening maybe aren't as high as I thought. However, there are other factors, heart disease, emphysema, and other very, very, very critical medical issues that come from smoking. All right. So we've identified factors. We have identified triggers. Now what we have to do is be able to help you, whoever's out there listening. How do you quit smoking? Or how do you quit any bad habit that you're trying to kick? Right? That's where the self-discipline comes in. You have to be able to instill in yourself that I need to stop. Now, sometimes people can't do it on their own. They need some help. Some people get the Nicoderm chewing gum. Some people do other factors. They got patches and things like that. Some people convert from smoking cigarettes to vaping because they said that's a safer option. Either way, you're going to end up with another habit, right? We want to eliminate the bad habit and replace it with a good habit, right? So we've determined that the factors are really simple. Why do you have discipline in other factors of your life? Because you have to. You have no option. You have to go to work. You have to pay your bills, right? You're looking at a long-term issue here, and basically, I got a set of dice right here because you're rolling the dice. Statistically, are you going to get ill, cancer, whatever? I can't sit here and say that. But that's the roll of the dice. Who wants to be the person sitting in front of the doctor saying, hey, you've got lung cancer. You're stage 4 lung cancer. It's over, my friend. There is no further discussion. Then you live out the last few months of your life or whatever, regretting that. Don't leave with any regrets. Live a healthy life. Okay? How are we going to replace that habit? Things you can start with is chewing gum. Toothpicks. Toothpicks in the hand. Toothpicks in the mouth. Replacing that oral fixation with toothpicks. All right. I know that sounds funny at first and things like that, but you got to have a starting point. You have to have somewhere to start to break the bad habit. The one thing I will warn anyone out there that is a smoker or whatever that's going to quit, and a lot of people want to. I know a whole lot of people that tell me that they want to be able to quit, but they simply can't. Well, yes, you can, right? And it starts right here, and it starts right here, right? The mental and the heart and the desire of how hard you're willing to push yourself to break that habit. 21 days. 21 days is what you have to commit to on a consistent level to break that habit. Any habit. Getting up on time, going to bed on time, getting to the gym on time. Right now you can't go to the gym, doing some push-ups and things. 21 days. And you have established yourself a new cycle of life and potentially a better habit. Okay? 21 days. Now, there's going to be withdrawals. There's going to be side effects. You're going to have some headaches. You're not going to feel well all the time. You're going to be cranky. You're going to be irritable. But I can tell you now, your loved ones are going to be willing to sacrifice that for that 21 days to have a healthier, stronger dad, husband, father, whatever you may be in life. Those 21 days is a drop in the bucket when you talk about months and years and things that you're going to add on to your life. Because that's what you're going to do. You see, the nice thing about the lungs and all, they will regenerate. Once you stop smoking and you get an x-ray or something of your lungs as a smoker. And after you stop smoking in 6 months, a year, 18 months, 2 years, you will start seeing the quality side effects that's going to happen. The lungs go back to the proper color they should be. Things start looking healthy. And the healthier you are, the happier you're going to be. That's just the reality of it, right? So we got to replace these bad habits with good habits, right? We've already established some things. Chewing that gum, getting those toothpicks out and things. Instead of feeling that boredom, engage in something positive. Find yourself a hobby. Find something that's a distractor from focusing on the need of the nicotine. Because it's going to call your name. It's going to want you back. But you got to fight through that. Fight through that for the 21 days. I'm telling you, If a doctor doesn't, if you don't stop smoking, I've seen it with my own eyes, the detriment that it can happen. And I'm sure anybody out there listening that has a family member or friend or something, we all know somebody that's probably had some kind of negative side effect of the smoking. And why am I hitting on the smoking in this is because this is what the viewer asked for. And I don't care what anybody says about me, and I don't care if I have 1 subscriber or I have 1 million subscribers. If I can help one person change their life today, then this microphone and this laptop and this camera and everything else that I've purchased is worth the pennies that I paid for it. It's worth the pennies that I paid for it. One life. If I change one person's life, I don't care how many subscribers I get. I don't care if I'm the only one watching this. One life. And I'm looking to change yours, Tyler 44. You left a comment. Now I'm giving you the answer. If you want longevity of life and you want a prosperous life, you need to commit to this and understand what's at stake. Think of it as your job. Think of it as your commitment to your family. Longevity of life. That's what's at stake. Don't roll the dice. And if you need to talk to me one-on-one about it and I can be of further help, then I will. And for all you other folks out there that have smoked and you've quit and you've had success or you're in the stages of it, throw some comments in there. Let's help each other out. Let's stop dwelling on all this negative nonsense and help each other out. I want this to be a positive platform. And if I can help just one person out there, then I've done my job. Then I feel I've done success with this podcast. Regardless of people, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, that's cool. I'm okay with that. I've already had some disagreements with some folks, and I'm okay with that because I respect your opinion and your insight. My life experiences tells me you need to quit. My life experiences on what I've witnessed and seen through my own eyes and my own family and other things I've done in life, you need to quit. Wake up tomorrow morning with that attitude, I have to quit. Not I want to. I have to. And the outcome will be far better and far more successful in the long term. Look for help if you need it. Look for help if you need it. I'm Craig Guy Sr. Ace is full. Got my friend here with the headphones on. We don't have a name for that person yet. The clock's still not ticking. I hope you got something out of this. If you think it's going to help somebody, smash that subscribe button. Send the share to somebody else. Let's make something positive happen. If you were a smoker and now a non-smoker, share with us how you quit. Let's help this young man out. Let's help this young man out. That's what this is all about. Anything outside of that, I don't give a shit about. Y'all have a good day and a good weekend. And with that, I'm signing out.